can feel it. I can feel it. What's going on, everybody? Hey, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal. Man, podcast show. You guys know. But tonight, man, it's not about me. It's about these four teams that I have on my panel tonight. And you know what? And it's called the South by Southwest Paranormal Podcast because I'm putting together, man, teams from Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and New Mexico. I'm putting all these teams together, man, for one purpose, and that's pair unity and just getting to know each other, And I was asleep and I was having a bad dream, and I like, Terry, you got to put this together, man. And you know what? It was 2 months in the making. Dude, in the last week, I put so much advertising into this. Constantly, every day I'm doing something. Every day I'm doing something. And I share it with the guys. If you see it on my page, it's all about this podcast show. So hey, but with enough said, I like to welcome everybody to the show. All you guys that are streaming with me around the world, all you guys that are on Kick, Rumble, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, my Facebook podcasting, and my personal Facebook page. I welcome all you guys to the show. And I'm not even counting all you guys that are following us from other team members that also have LinkedIn. I welcome to you guys also. Welcome to the show. I really appreciate it. But with the enough said, it's not about me. It's about the teams that are on here. Hey guys, starting with Louisiana, and we're gonna wake our way up. Then we're gonna wake our way over west. Then we're gonna make ourselves down. Introduce yourselves.
Hey, can you hear us, Jerry and Tracy? They can't hear us, Terry. They cannot hear us.
It looked like they're froze. There you go.
Y'all hear? Oh, we see your ceiling.
Oh, I'm gonna have to turn like this. Whoa!
There you are. Can you hear us? Jerry, can you hear us? Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh.
Uh
There
oh.
we go. I can hear Tracy. Well,
I
hello,
can't hear.
everybody. Terry, guess who's in the comments right now?
Uh oh. Let me guess. Let me. Uh oh.
It's Aline.
I see her. Hello, my
Yeah,
friend.
I see I shared it.
yeah, we were
How
just
we?
talking about her.
Yes, we
There she
were.
is. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, my
I'm
name is
telling you.
Bernadine, and I'm the founder of Louisiana State Paranormal Research Society. And I have my team here. We have Sue, she's above
Hi.
me. We have Tracy and
Hi,
Jerry
everybody.
to my left. They can't hear us. We're having some technical difficulties on their end. But we're from Louisiana on the, I don't know if you guys know where Lafayette is.
Yeah.
Lafayette, Louisiana. We're around that area. And we've done a lot of investigations in New Orleans and been filmed for documentaries and all. She's texting. Sorry. Yeah, they're having a little technical difficulty.
That's
Hopefully
okay.
we can get that figured out.
It's okay. That's cool. Well, you know what,
Well,
B? Welcome to the show. I really appreciate you.
thank you for having us.
And I ain't forgot you still owe me dinner.
Oh yeah. Yes, I do. Oh, we
Have her
just
take you
lost.
to Shucks.
Oh yeah. I live like 2 blocks from Shucks.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Chucks.
Shucks, like you
It's a,
shuck corn.
Yep.
Oh, they got good
it's a
catfish there?
it's a restaurant. Yes, they do.
Okay, cool. Now,
Yeah.
we're going to take a little trip up north and we're going to visit Arkansas. What's up, Arkansas?
What's up, guys? We're Will and Christina from Fort Smith, Arkansas, with Old Fort Paranormal Research, and glad to be
Hello.
here.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you all.
All right, then we're going to keep going going west. What's up, man? Introduce yourselves, brothers.
Well, I'm Paul. I'm Daniel. We are After Walker Paranormal out of the amazing city of Shakota, Oklahoma. We are about, I guess you guys have heard of Shakota.
I've been through it a million times.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So you guys know where we're at. Not everybody does. We are about an hour, I'll say an hour and a half south of Tulsa, about a half an hour south of Muskogee, and about 15 minutes north of the awesome little city of Eufaula and that amazing lake that we have, Lake Eufaula. And it's a neat area.
All right. Well, you know what, dude? I welcome you to the show. Also, I really appreciate it. Man, I had these guys on the show, man. They were outstanding. Kept me laughing and kept me and educated me on a lot of things, about what's going on up there in Oklahoma. And just like B, when I talked to B and I can't pronounce her name, right? Alana B?
Aline.
Aline.
My name's Bernadine, and her name's Aline.
We actually had a great conversation also because Aline actually taught me something about the paranormal field, the difference between something, and I think this was a good discussion between something that's paranormal and that's something that's supernatural. Me myself, I thought that was one of the same, but apparently it's something totally different, totally two different entities. And man, I learned a lot that day, but thank you guys for sharing that with me. I mean, because if it wasn't for you guys, hell, I'll still be thinking one is the same for me. But with enough said, New Mexico is still not here, but that's okay. When he gets here, he can jump in, You know, so guys, everybody's been on my podcast, and everybody know how I operate. Now, since the last time I talked to you guys after Walker, I kind of tweaked some things a little bit when it comes to being on the show. I'm not going to ask you guys anything about what's going on with your equipment because you guys have heard that a million times. Now, what I am going to ask you is things that are scientifically questions, questions that's going to make you guys think, and questions that's going to make you say, like on the Arsenio Hall show. So, all right, are you guys ready for this?
Let's get it on.
Now, the first, and how we're going to do this, guys, is uh, I am going to direct a question to the entire platform, and I want you guys to ask the question individually. But but let's be respectful until each person says what they have to say, and so on and so on. Okay, so the first question that I have for you guys is, and it's not really a hard one, and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard this question before. So, what motivates you guys to want to be in a profession that is so hard to, you know, it's so hard to be in? There are a lot of people out there that wants to, you know, just think that it's a field that nobody should be into. It's a field that no one should have a voice in. What do you guys say to people like that?
Who wants to go first?
Who's first? You're at the top. You go first.
Dang it. So, well, you said you're gonna make me think.
I can kind of answer that.
Go for it. Let me percolate a minute.
Well, I mean, I got into it, if that's kind of what you're asking, because of stuff that I was experiencing in my own home and other places that I couldn't explain. And, what I was seeing with my own eyes and hearing with my own ears and the experiences I was having, I mean, it really piqued my interest. And that caused me to dive in deeper and want to try to experience it in other places and try to, prove that there is something out there more than what mainstream lets on to be. I mean, if that kind of answers your question.
Does anybody want to add on to that?
I
can.
Okay, shoot.
Well, I have the same as the gentleman before me. I forgot your name. I'm sorry. I'm not good with names. I grew up having to see a lot of things supernatural and paranormal. So it led me to start investigating and questioning things. Same. But I put a team together because I seen that there were so many people out there that tried to find help and couldn't. Like some people had their children affected, and that we look at that first. If the children are being affected, everybody's living in the living room, scared to be in their bedroom, and it could be something really simple, but they're afraid of it. So I figured, if they can't find help through whatever resources they're trying to find, maybe we can help. We don't charge. We go in and we give them evidence of what they do or don't have. We try to help them out, ease their mind so they can get back to living a normal life.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Great.
Steven.
I mean, for us, for myself, yeah, I got into the paranormal field because of a lot of the same. I mean, the experiences that I had growing up. But how I actually got into it is I just felt this need, this drive to further understand. And because I think I talked to you last time about, I used to be more into UFOs, but I've always been interested in the paranormal just because I have had many experiences growing up and even into my adulthood, and especially now, but I guess to answer that second part of the question is when I don't really know if I've ever had anybody actually say, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that," but I know of a lot of people who probably would say that. A lot of people, especially in the church, and I think my answer to that would be we help people as best we can, and if we can help somebody like Bernadine out, if we can help somebody live a normal life, and we just had a case just last month. It was a residential case, and the woman had 2 young girls, and they were both having experiences. And since we went there and did what we do, things have been quieter. They've had an easier time. The activity's not all gone, but it's better. And so, anybody who might say, "Oh, well, you should just leave that alone." Well, I mean, it needs to be understood. And obviously mainstream science can't do it. So it's going to take a fringe science. It's going to take people like us to figure it out.
People are always going to be afraid of what they don't understand.
That's right.
And if we don't understand it, and until we do, then people are just going to be scared.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Great answer, guy. Hey, now, fear. How does fear impact any one of you guys' investigation when you guys are out there investigating? And how do you guys manage that fear when it comes up out of the dark?
Face it.
Face it, yeah.
You face it, or do you run from it?
No, trust me. There's been times I've wanted to run on many occasions.
No
but
running.
I just have to suck it up and go on.
No, there's no rule because we're there to find things. So if we're finding what we're looking for, you can't run from it.
No, you're doing your
You gotta
job.
keep
That's right. Now,
There you go.
I have had an instance, as a matter of fact, it was at that same residential investigation we did. We had April, who's not with us tonight. She was in one room. Daniel was in another room, and I took a camera and I went into the back master bedroom. And as soon as I hit the threshold, I just felt this overwhelming sense of, you're not going in there. You don't need to go in there. And so I'm standing at the threshold of the door, and I've got my digital voice recorder out, and I asked a few questions. And as I'm turning and leaving, bam! And yeah, that startled me. I was like, "Oh, hey, what was that?" And I did. I kind of screamed out because I was turning right, and it happened to my left, so I never saw it. But I mean, boy howdy, was it loud! And turned around, and I saw nothing. We think we found what the culprit was, which is a fan, but we could not figure out how it did what it did. We never could figure it out.
Man, you just can't trust those fans, man. They are something else. I'm telling you. I've had trouble with fans too. Guys, how do you guys this question is specifically for you. How do you maintain a healthy mindset when exploring a potential or traumatic location? What do you use to protect yourself just in case things go wrong in that in that location?
Well, there's never a guarantee that it won't go wrong, but we do say our protection prayer before we even enter a location. And we try to get the client to do the same, but if they don't, we still do. And we also do it before we leave. We try to surround ourselves with protection and hope for the best. We don't go in provoking, for one thing. And if things get out of hand, we don't stay. We'd have to leave if it got out of hand, because they do have cases where, that's out of our control. If something's out of our control, I try to find someone that has, more power than me to go in and deal with something like that, especially if it's supernatural. We
Now,
try to go in and give them evidence of what they have,
right.
but some things that they have, we don't have control over, and we don't try. We just know they have something, so we find somebody that can help them better than we can.
Now, have any one of you guys on the panel ever been through something like that and did everything that B says? You guys done all that and it didn't work. Have anybody ever done that before? All right, Arkansas, talk to me.
Well, we did a private residence in Roland, Oklahoma, and I wasn't very experienced at all. And I had something attached to me that followed me. And I actually took it to another location that same night and left part of it there, evidently, and took the rest of it home with me. And it affected me for a good 2 to 3 months. And we were actually in New Orleans doing an investigation at Bloody Mary's, the voodoo apartment upstairs,
Voodoo
the voodoo
temple.
house.
Mhm.
And they helped me more than anybody get rid of whatever was with me. So
Interesting. Okay. Now, guys, and I can honestly say that prayers, certain things you wear on your neck, man, they really help out. I mean, and I can only tell you, I was up in Mineral Wells one day, and we just went to Fort Walters. I don't know if you guys ever been to Fort Walters before, but I felt like I got hit with a brick upside my head, and I just felt like I didn't want to be bothered with nobody, and it lasted half the day. And a 2 minute prayer took all that away from me. I was active again. I was talking, but I thought about that brick that hit me, and just thinking about it. What happened if I didn't do that 2 minute prayer? On what situation I would be in right now? Because trust me, I've never experienced anything like that before, and it was one of those things that I don't want to experience again. But it's prayer is a very powerful thing. Guys, skepticism. Do you guys is skepticism a big role in your investigations?
Yes.
How do you guys handle that?
debunk.
Yeah. Debunk.
Because yes, I believe, but I'm not just gonna believe because somebody said. I'm gonna try and my best to debunk it, up, down, left, right, all around before I say yes. Okay.
We've debunked a claim in Lafayette. Remember the electricity? They had
Dean.
they had a short right by their refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
We narrowed it down all the way to the refrigerator, and it was causing the weird feeling in the house because it was just electrical. It wasn't nothing spiritual. There was nothing about it.
You saved them a lot of money on
wasn't it
troubleshooting.
high EMF?
Yeah.
Didn't they have high EMF?
Yes.
We off the chart.
And
It was all because of the refrigerator.
Somebody's sound is
What is that?
I don't know.
okay.
I was
Yeah,
trying
Hey.
to catch up.
Dean, you remember
Huh? What's that?
the man that got mad at us?
Oh yeah, he got mad because
Kept telling me.
high EMF will, cause you to have hallucinations, nausea, paranoia, things like that. And they actually believe because it's real to them. But when you go in and you find the high EMF, faulty wire, whatever causes it, and you give it to the client, they could have something paranormal. But if we don't find the paranormal in there while we're in there, we can't give it to them as evidence. So we couldn't find any evidence, and he actually got angry with us because we didn't find anything, but we found the faulty wire. Mhm.
Well,
Probably a little bit of pharmaceuticals that were helping that guy.
There you go.
I was going to say that.
We had a situation where we thought that we caught a creepy looking apparition, possibly sitting on a dresser of some sort. Anyway, it kind of looked like it was sitting there looking at us in a strange position, and it looked very humanoid figure. But going through our footage and going through and doing our rewatch and looking at what all we had, I realized that what we saw so where we caught this was we take Daniel takes UV pictures through UV light. And so anyway, it's dark in the room except for the UV light, catch this shape. So as I'm going through the rest of the footage, I then see this rather large painting that was sitting on that dresser that had a lighter, I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, the lighter shapes in the painting were in kind of that shape that we were seeing. And I was like, okay, well, there it is. Because we were dumbfounded for a minute. I'm because those were the pictures.
Yeah.
We were seeing the pictures like almost right away. But the video, I don't go back to the video unless I want to stop and look at something. But I don't go back to the video until we're done, and I start watching and going through all of our evidence. But for a minute that we were faux show. Man, we got that something. And I saw that and I was like, no, we're catching that lighter spot on that painting, and it's making it look like that there's a figure sitting there. And so, of course, at first I'm writing it down saying, okay, I'm gonna have to talk to the client about this, but and then once I saw that, scratch it off the list, debunk that, and that's just, you have to pay attention to those things. I mean, you have to be diligent, you have to be vigilant, and you have to go through your evidence more than once, in my opinion.
That's true.
I mean, you
have to rewatch, re-listen. And if you're doing EVP and you're analyzing your EVP and you close your eyes, you can hear better.
Yeah.
And pay attention better. Because if I'm doing EVP and I'm on my computer and I'm doing this and doing that and listening at the same time, I will miss everything. I have to go back and redo it every single time. So I have to focus on just that. And if I hear something, I go back and I close my eyes. And that's when I can hear it better. Yeah.
Okay.
Little tips and tricks.
Sue, I have a question for you.
Huh?
That
I might have an answer.
Well, it's pretty easy. I try not to, ask a lot of hard questions. Psychological. Impacts of investigating in a traumatic location. How would you handle something like that?
If it was a traumatic situation?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
if it's something that's so bad that happened in a location, you feel it the minute you walk in that location. You feel all that negative energy. How do you cope with it as a paranormal investigator? What do you do?
Well, I am.
And we have at our last investigation, remember?
Yeah, as soon as we hit the door, all of us said it at the same time. We felt it. I am new to all this. You pretty much have to stay calm because you have to stay in control of everything. I would guess like I said, I am new to it. We walked in because we did feel something negative when we first walked into this one house. We walked in calmly, talked to the owners. Go ahead.
I said that woman invited all that stuff in.
She really did.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, she did.
The thing is, she wanted us to validate that the place was haunted, not get rid of the haunting. Breakfast, and she wants to sell it out as being a haunted bed and breakfast.
I've been there. I've done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys think that is the common faux that lots of people are doing. I mean, because if you really look at this, it's a big money maker. Because if you have a location that people are inviting things in, and for an example, you got a bed and breakfast, and all of a sudden you make it a haunted bed and breakfast, or you got a house that you make it a haunted house and it's a bed and breakfast now, and you're charging a lot of money to get people to come in, people like myself and people like you guys that are come in that pay a lot of money to investigate it. Man, could that be the new norm these days when people are finding easy ways to make money?
I sure hope not.
Yeah.
They're going to end up being sorry.
Exactly. They're going to end up inviting the wrong thing in, and they're not going to know what to do once it happens. And
Hey, boo,
that's
they got to live there after we leave.
right. And, honestly, when you think about it, it's like they think it's all fun and games. And we kind of experienced that in New Orleans when we went a couple weeks ago. And, I'm a people watcher. I watch everything, I observe everything. And, it amazes me how people just think it's fun and games. I don't think they really take it seriously and, take into consideration that you can just do the wrong thing or, provoke, and things can take a turn in a split second. And then what are you going to do? It's like, I don't think they realize what they are doing and how serious it can get,
Yes.
So it's
Till it follows them home. Yeah.
Yeah, or it's too late, even if it's in their home. And, like y'all said, Jerry, it's once they invite something negative in and it starts reacting and they start freaking out because, hey, what are we going to do now?
Right.
Starts, actually physically touching them and hurting them,
I can go back to the question you asked, Sue, because it just happened to me this past week.
Mm-hmm.
Went to a local restaurant in Lafayette, and the second I walked in, I had the most uncomfortable, nervous, oh my God, get me out of here kind of feeling I have ever had in my life.
Wow.
Couldn't tell right away where it was coming from. Started paying attention to it. It was coming from the front left where you walk into the restaurant. And I would see a flash of what was upsetting me. But before I could vocalize it, it was gone and I couldn't pull it back. And then it would happen again. And finally, that night, I dreamed about what it was. I dreamed what I kept seeing in that restaurant. It was residual energy, but it was a girl being chased by a guy. She fell. He jumped on top of her and beat the living daylights out of her. And it kept playing over and over and over. And I'm getting goosebumps on my face just talking about it. But it kept happening over and over. And it took me to go to sleep that night and dream about it. Well, Tracy and I went back to the restaurant today. I was with my daughter last week when it happened. This is the first time Tracy ever walked in that place. I didn't tell him. I did not tell him. But
all spirits pick on Tracy, just for a FYI. Yeah.
They do. They over him.
Yeah, somebody had wrote in the chat. It's all fun and games until you get your leg pulled in the middle.
Yeah, I saw that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've gotten punched in the chest.
And
Walking into a room, getting punched in the chest and pushed out. They touch me all the time. It's just one of them things, I guess. I don't know. Back
to the question though, the way I handled it was I tried to figure out why I felt uncomfortable. What was it that had happened in that traumatic incident that residual energy was still there? Okay. And it took me to go to sleep that night and dream about it. Now, we walked in today. We went for lunch today. I wanted to see what would happen with him. And sure enough, when we walked in and we were standing in the front of the restaurant waiting to be seated, he starts doing
Mm.
and looking in that same corner. And I hadn't told him
Oh,
anything. Something is there.
wow, interesting. Hey guys, let's talk about diversity for a minute because I've had all female teams on the show, and I have diverse teams on the show. Which which one of the teams would you say will get more reaction? A diverse female team, I mean, a team that's diverse, or with men and women, or a team that just have women, or a team that just have men?
Can I answer that one?
Sure.
I think I don't think it matters whether it's all men, all women, both.
Exactly.
I think it matters if there's no freaking drama.
Amen to that. I love it. Love it.
Mm,
Good answer.
no drama.
It's also going to
Drama.
depend on the individual spirits that happen to be present. Who are they drawn to?
Yep.
Mhm.
Who are they going to
Now,
react?
interesting, guys, because this questions opens up a debate between different types of paranormal teams that are out in the world. Now, for an example, if you guys are in a location where, uh, let's say you're in a nursing home, and nursing homes, you got older elders that are set in their ways. So you might not have that okay feeling when you go into a certain room, especially if you're a female, because certain males in those days did not allow or did not want females in their rooms or in their houses. So you might feel some type of way.
Right.
Now, uh, and for an example is okay, let's say if the roles were reversed. You got a elderly woman that was in that room, and they might not like women going into that room, but they like all men going in there. So therefore, if you're a paranormal investigator and you got an all male team, you might be a little bit more accepting. You know what I'm saying? So,
That
me personally, I do think the diversity of a paranormal team plays a role in communication with certain spirits in certain locations. What you
yeah,
guys think?
it's like I said, it's going to depend on who the individual spirits are drawn to, who they're going to react to.
Mhm.
So it doesn't really matter if it's all male or all female. It just depends.
I've always had both on my team, so we usually have mixed reactions from the spirits.
Mm,
Or
okay.
they
Now, okay, cool, cool. Guys, my biggest thing is because I got a lot of people that come on the show, and I got a lot of different answers, and I got man, this is a big debate. Uh, do you guys think that natural weather phenomenon plays a role in paranormal investigating? Preferably more outside than inside. As I'm saying is, you can go if there's an electrical storm that's outside, you're in a cemetery. It's going to give everybody the energy that they need to do whatever they need to do. Compared to when you're in a house, what do you guys think about that?
Well, I won't go in a cemetery in an electrical storm.
Well, you know what? I'm the guilty one because I've done it,
That's just the
and
rule.
We got one about 5 miles just south of here. Come to that one.
the grotto.
mm,
Hmm.
The Grotto and Henry.
Yeah.
That was
you
haunted.
know, And it's really weird how people say that natural occurrences doesn't affect paranormal investigations, but I think the weather plays some time of a part. Would you guys agree? I mean, because if it's 10 inches of snow, though, guys, is it chance you're going to be more active than 10 inches of rain?
I
Well,
think
we don't
the
watch snow.
energy of the weather absolutely
Yeah.
has to do with a lot of it. I mean,
Mm.
it,
Water is
you-
energy. Yeah.
right.
And then lightning.
Spirits need energy to manifest.
I mean, I live within feet of an old Indian Territory cemetery.
Wow.
We have activity almost daily, whether it's just little bits or a lot of bits. I mean, we've had microwaves turned on in the middle of the afternoon and nobody's touching it. But so once you start realizing that there is a pattern to it, and
Mhm.
guys, we're all from the South. Half of the people that are on this panel right now can smell when the rain is coming.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean,
Correct.
it's one of those things where we attune ourselves to things like the weather while we're living. Why doesn't it affect us whenever we're crossed over to another form and we're just a spirit entity? I truly think that, and I've seen the differences in activity due to weather, barometric pressure,
Moon phase.
moon phases, whether it's cloudy or not. I mean, it's interesting living exactly where I live.
Yeah, it's literally like 2 days ago. I think Thursday. It was Thursday. It was Thursday. I went over to his house. I was like, I go to the bathroom, so I went to the bathroom, and there's a shower chair in there that was probably about 6 inches behind me, and the damn thing moved. I heard it, and I turned around, and it jolted again. That's the type of we have literally been in his kitchen,
Wow.
and the fan or the microwave,
The
the vent hood, the fan kicked on for like a minute, and then it just turns back off, and it just does it randomly. There's nothing wrong with it.
Mhm.
It doesn't do it all the time, just randomness, total randomness. And I mean, his house is nuts.
That's awesome.
Mm.
Sounds like it.
So
Yeah.
Terry sat in with us last night for a little bit. We do our mini hall live on Friday nights, and we do it from their house. And
Okay.
we actually set some devices out on a table while we talk, just to see if they go off. We will use our ITC devices like our Chattergeist and our ITC apps, stuff like that. See what kind of rings through. We really like the Chattergeist. It's very much like an Ovilus. But I mean, yeah, his house is nuts, y'all.
Mm.
Awesome.
Don't forget, we're only an hour away. We'll be knocking on your door.
I mean, the Judge Parker's
Well, I
Hey,
think
there's a trade. There's a trade. That would be
I think all you guys within a couple hours away from each other. I think Lafayette. I think B would probably have to drive the fathers to get to you guys. Hey, it's okay.
Yeah, I think she's about 7 hours away
Okay.
from us.
Whoa.
Road trip. Yeah.
Road trip.
Road trip.
Okay,
Yeah.
personal beliefs, guys. Everybody have their own personal belief. How does personal belief impact a paranormal when you guys are investigating? How does that impact on what you guys do on a day-for-day basis?
Personal as what?
Personal beliefs. It could be religion. It can be, just personal belief as everyday life. Anybody?
Okay.
Well, personal beliefs, like that last one, last investigation we did. As soon as we walked up to the door, she's got a pentagram on her door.
She had a pentagram
On the door.
on the door.
Okay, so off the top, I got defense on that because of the fact that you're inviting this stuff in. You're not seeking help.
No.
You're inviting it. You know,
Sure.
so I mean, that kind of stuff right there. I was already on guard the moment I walked in the house.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff there is. She wouldn't say it, but I guarantee she did a seance in that room.
Oh yeah.
That one with the flashlight.
The flashlight went
started
flying.
flying.
Definitely.
Sue's first investigation.
Yeah, that was my first one.
And we had the flashlight. It was on a little end table between Tracy and I. And it kicked on. It spun around a couple of times and flew a good couple feet off of the table.
Wow.
It was yeah. It was pretty shocking.
I was drawn to that room even before we even walked in the house. I was drawn to that room. Remember, I kept pointing at that room. I was like, "There's something in it."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
You can feel it.
Well,
Yeah.
guys, New Mexico has finally arrived.
Oh, hey.
Please, yeah, Zodiac Paranormal. Introduce yourselves to the world, brother.
Can you everyone hear me okay?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. I can't see. I can't see you.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. My my computer's messed up. I just got off work, 12-hour shift, and I can't get the dang camera to work. But I'm currently on my phone right now, so you'll have to bear with me and see if I try to figure this out. But
I got
no,
you.
my name is Anthony. I go by Ray, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico. As far as I know, I'm the only paranormal group that makes any kind of public appearances or really helps anywhere in the Santa Fe, Albuquerque, and Espanola to Taos area. So
Wow.
Welcome.
Welcome to the show, my brother. I appreciate it. Hey, and I knew you were gonna be late because, man, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to drive 80 miles an hour to get to a podcast after a 12-hour shift. You know what I'm saying? But welcome. The discussion has been deep, man, and we'll try to keep you in the loop as far as what we're talking about. So bear with us and feel free to jump in, man, if you got anything that you want to comment on and all that stuff. But hey, we are having a good time. Hey guys, question. Now I know everybody have experienced this. And this is a well known occurrence too. And it's really starting to piss me off because people are taking advantage of us, you know, for our kindness, our weakness, and all that stuff. And to me, I think I'm starting to get a little cold hearted when it comes to things like this. And it's people that wants to and it's people that wants to put us in their in their book saying, "Hey, man, I actually had somebody do this, somebody do that. I'll put you're on my bucket list now, dude. I am not your bucket list person. Do not do that." How do you guys feel about people that come tell you all these crazy stories about what's going on, and then 30 minutes later you find out there's nothing's going on? Then y'all taking a group chip, just taking a group picture, saying, "Well, thanks for being on the bucket list."
Wow. I don't think I've ever had that problem, but I have had a problem, and you might want to, look out for stuff like this. I had someone message me with a photograph saying that this was in their kitchen, this creepy looking, monster looking thing in their kitchen, and sent me pictures of all kinds of stuff. Well, they gave me an address and asked me if I can go and do an interview because they wanted an investigation. Well, I knew I had seen that picture somewhere before because you get sent so many fake pictures. And when I looked up the address, it was a place that was empty that was for sale in another
Uh,
town.
yeah,
Wow.
that's why I carry a gun.
Yeah. So they wanted us to go over there,
Love
and
it.
a lot of investigators, and I've known people go to New Orleans and all of their equipment gets stolen out of their vehicle because they have to park on the street for an investigation. When you're in the French Quarter, you have to park on the street most of the time. So yeah, you have to be wary of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, New
Right.
Orleans. I got my taste of that. That ain't no place to play around. That's kind of rough.
No.
Oh, it
Hmm.
is.
Mm. But guys, we can all agree that each one of us want to get into Charity Hospital.
In New
Yes.
Orleans.
There's no way that neither one of us can say that we would not investigate that location because I know that's a hot spot for paranormal activity at the foremost. Now, I'm
Mhm.
not saying it's the most haunted location in Louisiana because I really don't know who that what that is, but that Charity Hospital it's
Mhm.
got to be a hotbed for something. And I
Yeah.
just I would love to get in there before they knock it down.
Yeah.
That's
It's
true.
abandoned, old and abandoned.
Hmm.
Is that the one that got hit by Katrina?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was trying to place it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It sure
Yep.
is.
That's the one they
And
see Christmas tree light every year, way at the top on the top floor.
hey, man, and when B was on the podcast, when she told me that, and I had to ask, I like, dude, why aren't the cops going up there? He's like, what cop in their right mind gonna go up there?
I'm,
They're not.
Mhm.
I'm the only cop that would actually do it.
Yeah.
Somebody said in
Woo.
the chat, even the ghosts are scared in New Orleans.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, we
but the
were laughing
but
about
the but the thing is, guys, where did they get the electricity to put the damn Christmas tree?
All right.
that.
Right.
That's the biggest question. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, guys. All right, you know what? All of us is here, and dude, the biggest question is, and I thought we brought it up, and question number one is, why come the scientific community has not brought a chair to the table for us? Anthony, can you answer that question for me?
Well, the way I like to conduct my investigations is I try to look for a logical explanation first, because in some cases that I've done, it's usually just been explainable. But I feel like if they really enveloped if they really embraced the paranormal side of things, that it could be very shocking for people, because people always assume that, I mean, hey, we're the kooks, right? We're the ones that don't really have anything better to do, so we just decide, hey, we're gonna go hunt some ghosts and do all this stuff. But it's so much more than that, and
It really
it's
is.
crazy because we most if you asked, I think there was a statistic done not that long ago, but it was like how many people believe that, like, there is a supernatural world or aspect of things versus people who think that there's nothing after you die, and then it goes into religion and all kinds of sorts of stuff. But it's crazy because I feel like if they decide, hey, we're gonna bring a chair up to the table for our input, then it could disrupt a lot of things. It could play into politics. I feel like it could, be brought up really big in religion, and I don't know if people are kind of ready for that, because people, it's so much easier to be like, oh, those guys are kooks, those guys are crazy. They don't,
Hmm.
they're
Right.
not. It's a fun topic to think about around Halloween, but realistically, it's not a
All
it's not
right.
a thing. But
Well,
then
and
you have all of us here that um, try to make it so where it's like thinking outside the box. Not necessarily. It's more like thinking outside the box that's inside of a house,
Right.
and
They're
we're all
eventually
just
gonna
kind of
have to. I'm sorry.
go
They're
ahead.
eventually gonna have to look at what they're doing with the alien UFO phenomenon. They're
Exactly.
giving it to
Right.
people in doses and doses and doses until eventually it's the new norm. So
Mhm.
they're eventually going to have to face it.
Yep.
Well, it also wouldn't
Right now, it's not
hurt if
profitable, so
Mhm.
they can't make money off of it. So let's not bother with them.
They can't tax it yet. So,
right.
Right.
Well, like I was going to say, it also it wouldn't hurt if paranormal teams would quit fighting even about the use of a piece of equipment like a REM pod, for example, like how you're supposed to use it. And I mean, because there's so many people who have even different beliefs on equipment, and I mean, there's people who I say people groups out there who don't want to use a piece of equipment in a certain way, and another group that will use that piece of equipment in that certain way, and oh well, but you shouldn't do that because it's not legitimate. Well, anyway, I think you guys know what I'm talking about.
We
I mean,
all we all investigate in different ways,
sure,
and a
oh,
lot of
oh, sure,
teams they don't want to unify, and I don't think a lot of teams will ever unify. And there's a
right,
bunch of
That
drama.
goes back to my drama. There you go,
yeah,
Yeah,
drama.
a lot of
exactly,
drama in the
right,
field, and so like us, we kind of keep to ourselves and talk to
totally,
those like-minded individuals that are out
right,
there for the same reasons.
yeah,
And a lot of people are afraid of what they don't understand. And so, like, I don't show evidence in front of children. And the same would be with an adult with the same kind of mind. If they see it on TV, spirits and ghosts and horror movies and all this, they see it on TV, to them, it's entertainment. But if they see it in
Mm-hmm.
real life and they actually know it's real,
Mhm.
you show them evidence it's real, it kind of changes that person or
yeah,
a child. So I won't show that to children because now they know. So it changes their whole demeanor about the paranormal. So if a
Mm.
person's afraid of things like that, it's easier for them to say it doesn't exist. I don't
Right.
believe in that. Well, just because you
right.
don't believe in it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
right,
You
Right.
know,
I feel like there's
That's
also no baseline for when it comes to even like paranormal equipment to use, because a lot of people like certain things. They like it a certain way. They like to use a specific, like EMF reader, or there's so many REM pods that people make out there now that detect kind of like in different ways that they're I don't know if you guys have seen those. What do they call it? Like REM ropes? It's like a REM pod, but it's
Mm-hmm.
a rope. Like
oh,
people
yeah,
like
yeah,
to
yeah,
use those, or they'll be like, or those it's like a 3D printed like little creepy house, but it's a REM pod at the base instead of like the normal puck that you can buy online. So like there's no, I feel like there's no baseline when it comes to like equipment that a lot of people use, because like me, I'm simplistic. I use cat balls. I have a REM pod, EMF. um I use my phone as a recorder. I have a camera with flash photography, so I can see if I can capture orbs, stuff like that. It's very simplistic, but then there's other groups out there who would investigate with like two items or like 20 different crazy items. It's kind of hard to, especially when you grew up with someone who have their own way of doing things versus someone who's used to playing with like others and being like, hey, like let's use your technique, like the SS method. Oh, I don't really like to use the SS method because I like to have my senses open. Well, it might help and it might not, but
yeah.
if you're willing to try it, then we can try it. Stuff like that.
Okay,
right.
But I do
guys.
agree with.
No,
Sorry,
go
go ahead.
ahead. Finish, Anthony.
No, but I do agree with not showing like evidence to kids if there are kids around, because I did have a case recently, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to help this man and his child. They're both deaf, and it was really hard to help them. But and the kid was like 13, and he really wanted to know what was going on, and I refused to do that because he was really scared, and I'm like, I'm not going to play into that.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, guys, I'm Thanos. I got the damn things on my hand, and I'm a snap. every REM pod, everything that ever had anything it produced, I've snapped it away. Now, how would you guys be able to investigate with all the technology that are out there now if I just snap my fingers? How would you guys maintain that?
Well, I mean, one of the biggest things that we do is sit, watch, listen.
Use
I
your
mean,
body.
come on, guys. Everybody knows that. People who watch the paranormal TV shows, they think it's all chaotic and you know EVPs everywhere you turn, and every
Right.
room you put in, your REM pod's going to go on. But that's not how it goes. That's not. I mean,
Not at
we
all.
show on our videos, the more exciting stuff, of course, but people don't see the time that we sitting, watching, listening, looking, in the dark. I mean,
The boring stuff.
the boring stuff.
Yeah,
mean,
my favorite piece of
it's
equipment is
yes,
these.
it's the boring stuff. That's some of my favorite stuff to do. I love it. I love just letting my energy release so I can feel the energy of the space that I'm in. I love it. That's
Okay,
like my favorite way of doing
fine.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
And we have had, so when we do that and then we go into a EVP session or a spirit box session or what have you, we seem to get more when we are able
It's hard to
to.
get any kind of evidence with so much noise.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you
And the
can
equipment
immediately
is not
feel when you
great.
walk into a place if there's something there, like if it's heavy or not. Because as people, we have that kind of intuition where it's like it's kind of like how I usually like to explain it to people is it's like when someone's giving off like bad vibes, like that there's like they seem fine, but there's something a little bit off, either with them or the conversation or something, or like tension when people are in an argument, but you walk in, they don't talk or anything. It's kind of like that, but you're sitting there, and it's quiet, or even if it is chaotic, you just feel like something's not quite right here.
Right.
Exactly.
Low vibration energy.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey
with the
guys, between all of us, there's many years of paranormal investigating on this panel tonight. Now, if you guys had to pick someone to be the grandfather of the grandmother of paranormal investigating, who would it be and why?
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah,
Hmm.
They
the
are.
Warrens. Yeah.
Hans Holzer.
I'm a Hans Holzer guy.
There you
I
go.
have several of his books. I think Hans Holzer was amazing at what he did. He is the true grandfather of paranormal investigation. I feel like I've learned a lot about the difference between what a spirit is, what a ghost is, because there are differences. And I believe that. That's my belief because I have read Hans Holzer books, and that's who I go to.
Okay. Anybody else? For anybody else? So the Warrens and Halser. Okay. If I had to choose anybody, and I can honestly say, he might not be he might not be one of those guys that investigated for a long time, but he did bring a lot to the table. And most of you guys were not even born when this guy came out. That includes you, Will.
I'm an old man.
Bernadette. I hate to say it,
Bernadine.
but damn, here we go again.
Yeah.
Hey, I got that song stuck in my head, man.
Hmm.
Whenever I see that, whenever I hear that, I just want to sing that song to you. And I don't know why, but Bernadette is one of those. But guys, the gentleman. Now I don't know if to me, I just think he was a true paranormal investigator. Now he might not have been an icon or he might not have been this, but the guy that played Kochek, man, the 1970s sitcom, this dude was so basic. All he had was one of those old 1970s voice recorder on his hip, had his jacket and his hat. He didn't have anything else when he was investigating. Oh, wow.
Don't know his name.
Night Stalker. There you go. My friend, nice. If you guys ain't never seen a Night Stalker TV show, hey, if you got a Fire Stick or something, go back and watch that guy. Dan McGavin. There you go.
And, he predated X-Files. That's kind of where they got X-Files kind of from. As a matter of fact, he was actually in an X-Files episode. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I've watched all of X-Files. I don't know how many times through, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Darren McGavin. Do any of you guys know who Darren McGavin is?
No.
He was also the father
Anybody?
of the story.
The father of who?
He are you talking about the guy from Night Stalker?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was also the father on Christmas Story.
Oh.
Was it really?
Yeah, same guy.
Oh yeah, that is him.
Well, and the guy who directed A Christmas Story is Bob Clark, who did the first Black Christmas. Bob Clark was a horror guy, and he did Christmas Story. And here we are, 30 some odd years later, or 40 years later, however long it's been, and A Christmas Story is a tradition in my house. I mean, what do they play it 24? Play it 24/7 on TV. Anyway,
Right.
It's on all day long on Christmas Day.
Oh my God. It'll drive me crazy.
I'm more of a Christmas Vacation guy.
oh, I love it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase.
Get the Tylenol.
Yes, sir. Guys, all you guys have been on my show. I'm going to ask the question. B, please, starting with you. I just want to know if your answer has changed from over a couple of months since you've been on the show. But how do you feel about Hollywood now? Has the situation changed, or you still feel the same about it?
I still feel the same about it. I think the paranormal reality shows are done to death.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're awful.
Yes.
They are awful. Yeah. So can we all agree, guys, that everybody on the panel, all the shows, well, you know what? I can't say all the shows are awful, but most of the mainstream ones are no good. They are
just
no
need to be
good.
truthful about it.
Well,
Exactly.
in any new show that's been coming out, they're just ridiculous. I mean, they're horrible, and they're fake. They're so fake.
Well, they have to be somewhat, because I was approached about a show years ago, and I turned it down because they asked me, well, first of all, they said the whole team has to be on call for 4 months whenever they called. So I'm like, well, my team works. We can't just up and uproot our lives, and just go to Baton Rouge like anytime you call. And then another thing, the guy was like, well, what's one thing you won't do? I said, I won't fake evidence. I won't. He's like, well, how would we get ratings if you don't have, activity on your investigations? I said, well, that's not my problem. I'm not going to just fake evidence for ratings. That's just not me. I'm not going to do that. So I turned it down. So they have to do that for ratings.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Will.
There's a delay. What people don't understand is that we've been to more places that were not haunted, or I'm not going to say not haunted, but we didn't get any activity at all than we have been that we had.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a crapshoot.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like a.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, they wanted us to be on naked naked ghost hunting show.
Oh, did
I
I'm
you
like,
didn't
really
even.
want to see? Nobody wants to see me.
no,
I'm sorry.
no.
We don't even want to see this.
Where would you put your equipment?
Yeah, he
They're really wanting
Oh,
to get scary.
I'm not gonna answer that.
somebody else see me naked.
I
Hey,
feel that a lot of us, if not all of us, have been to locations and stuff where you don't get anything, and like the reports that you've heard, the testimonies, the stories, everything, it just made it seem like, wow, this is a crazy location. Wow, this place is must be pretty bad. Let me go check it out. And then we go there, and we barely catch anything. If we're there for hours and hours and we don't, you don't catch anything. But then there's other locations that are like, "Nah, I don't really know. I mean, there could be something here, and you just go to check it out, and turns out it was like crazy. Like you experience like the craziest stuff. But then when it comes to um, like the shows that they produce now, or when it, even like YouTubers that try to do it for like clout or try to get views and stuff like that. Like I feel like it's kind of like a mixed bowl because you have the ones that are really about doing it and really want to get good evidence and show people like, hey, we're not. This is real. This is a real thing, you know. But then you have the ones that are like, yeah, but let's do something like this because then it'll be crazy and then people will come back to watch. And it's like, but is that the whole point?
but
It's
you know what? No matter what, if you put your evidence on Facebook today, if you have a photograph of a ghost that you captured and you know it's real, and you put that on Facebook, you're going to have 100 people that are going to tell you it's fake.
Yep,
yeah.
that's
yep,
right. Yep, every time.
Or
every
they're
Yeah.
gonna
time.
take,
Um,
or they're gonna steal it and say it's
Or
their
steal
picture.
it and,
Yeah.
yeah, redo something on it and put it back and say you did it. So you can't
So,
win that battle. You can't.
so
Yeah.
the biggest question, guys, is how do we get around that? What do we, as paranormal investigators, what do we need to do to get around that situation?
When you get that answer, let me know.
yeah, I agree.
The
Yeah, I've
Because
only
had
thing
my
that I could think
evidence
of.
stolen at a convention I was speaking at. I was on a
see,
panel
that's crazy.
speaking, and that's back when we had the 35 millimeter, and you put your stuff in a photo album. And I had a
Hmm.
ghost dog, my only ghost dog. And they passed my album around the room, and someone stole my ghost dog pic.
Darn
Yeah,
ghost dog pick.
I was upset. I know
Oh, I
they'll
bet.
steal from you, so you can't trust anybody. You know.
It
When
was a
you
I
ghost.
when you find out who did it, you let me know. I'll make a road trip. We'll go get him.
I say, you know what? If I ever see my ghost dog on the internet, I will be mad. I'm gonna call him out, but I
Um,
never
you,
did.
They know
Anthony.
who they are, Dean.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, Anthony. New Mexico paranormal teams and far and few. Can you
So,
explain why that's the case?
Honestly, I have no idea. I know there's one other group down here. They're called Southwest Expeditions, but they mainly do touring. I think they're based out of Las Cruces, and they do tours at the. They have like a deal with the courthouse, and they do
Hmm.
tours in there and stuff like that. They capture some pretty crazy stuff, but that's not all they do. That's like a little bit of what they do, and then they mainly do touring, like during the day. It's they claim that's where La Llorona was, so they play on that, and it's just it's kind of hard because I have reached out to some people, but like I recently found not that long ago, it's an oddity shop that opened up here. I want to say like 6 months ago, and it's ran by a woman named Rose, and she's absolutely amazing. And she does investigating too, but it's no one's kind of just doing this. I'm the only one that I found so far that specifically just does cases, both house calls as well as for um, like big commercial properties or small ones or family local business stuff like that. But I was going to say back to the previous question. I feel like the way to kind of eradicate that would have to be put on like a pin in it until we get the scientific community to kind of like pull up a chair, because I feel like we could say all day long like, no, like this is legit, and you can try to see if the photo's been doctored at all, but then with everything nowadays, like you can get an AI generated photo and be like, oh, like this is legit, and hey, it wasn't doctored, but it was not necessarily real. And if
It's hard to
you,
tell the difference now.
I'm sorry.
With AI, it's hard to tell the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been fooled a lot on just simple stuff, not even having to do with the paranormal, and it's crazy because now it just makes it so much harder. And
Hmm.
it's not for the reason I'm doing it, it's not necessarily to just like for fun, but it's like I hear a lot of times people are like, "Oh yeah, you should come investigate like my aunt's house. Like it's absolutely crazy." And then they go and then it's like nothing. But then you go to some other place and it's like, "Wow, like that's yeah, something's definitely going on here," and it's just the thrill of solving that puzzle. And
Right.
it's also
Yeah.
being like, hey, like if people don't know what it is and they're genuinely scared, it's like, well, hey, let me help you out and help you identify it, you know,
That's
because
the
even
whole
sometimes
into
peace of
doing it.
mind can help.
Yeah.
Well, my team
That's
was called in one time, and these two guys wanted us to go and do an investigation at their home. Well, come to find out, they were actually wanted us there so they can learn how to do the paranormal investigating because they wanted to put a team together themselves.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and see, a lot of
Yeah.
people are also like scared to even step foot in this because then I've been called crazy. I've been called, oh, that's not real. Like, oh, like you're just, that's, you have to fake at least some of that. A lot of it can't be real. It's just like, no, like I don't see the point of faking something because if I don't get a lot of people watching it anyway, and the stuff
Hmm.
that I do post, it's like who am I going to try to impress here? Like I'm trying to kind of explore the unknown and prove it not only to myself, but if I can help someone else believe like, wow, that's I didn't even think to think about that. It's a whole different kind of feeling that you can get. And if you can help someone in the process, it's even more rewarding.
Yes, I agree. Hey guys, from a scale from 1 to 10, tell me how dangerous you think what we do in our everyday life as paranormal investigators. How dangerous it really is from 1 to 10, starting with Will.
Well, I see all these idiots out on the road every day, so I put my life at risk 24/7. But I think it's dangerous if you don't educate yourself on what you're dealing with and protect yourself. It can be very dangerous. That's like I told y'all earlier in the very first investigation I went on. I didn't know what I was doing, and it showed because I brought it back home with me, and it wasn't good.
So from 1 to 10, Will.
I'd say 8.
8. Okay, good number. All right, after Walker, what number would you say? How dangerous what we do?
Well, if you talk about running into things in the dark, it's a 10 for sure. Because, I mean, I'm a klutz anyways, and I'm going to run into things even if the lights are on.
And I'm worse.
And he's worse. But if you're talking about dangerous entities, I mean, 99.9% of any real spirit that you are having some sort of contact with is not going to hurt you. It doesn't even. I mean, they're interested in talking or playing jokes or things like that. Now that 10th of a percent, that's where it kind of gets iffy, and you know, being somebody who has been touched before and understanding that they have the capability of contact, I would say a 7 or an 8 for sure.
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Whoa.
I would go with an 8. Yeah.
Okay, Anthony, what do you think that your number would be?
I feel like it could. It depends. It honestly depends. I would say a 6 if it's something that I normally deal with in terms of a spirit. If it's something darker, then I feel I can go to a 9 because
Sure.
it's you. I that case I told you all about um, uh, the father and the son. They were both deaf. That I would say was a solid 9 because that was some pretty dark stuff that I was not sure what I was getting myself into because at first glance it was something that seemed very simplistic.
Mm-hmm.
But then as more as I kind of got into the case, it was like this is out of my depth. And I'm not gonna be like, oh, I know how to deal with this easily. No, it's something. I mean, I'm a person too, and I got pretty damn scared. But yeah, I would say either a 6 if I'm dealing with a normal spirit, and then I would say a possible 9 if it's something a lot darker.
Ooh, okay, Miss B. What's your numbers
Well,
or
I've been
number?
doing this over 30 years. So I've been thrown down, bled, scratched, sat on, held down. So I've felt the works, seen the works, got my clothes yanked off. So yeah, I've dealt with human spirits, inhuman spirits, and you have a potential of both being angry at you. So I would
Mm,
go definitely a 10 on
Sure.
both
yeah,
of them.
okay.
Sure.
Now, if you guys, and now for all the kids that are listening that are watching this show, what would you guys tell these kids that want to do that want to be future paranormal investigators? Uh, what is the one word you would say first to them?
Educate.
Do
Okay.
your homework.
Do your
Protect.
homework. Educate.
Protect.
Learn.
It's not a game.
Educate, protect. It's not a game.
Not a
Okay.
game.
Caution.
Huh?
Caution for sure.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Caution. You got to be
But
cautious about what you're doing.
Cautious.
you
Mm,
have to treat
Yeah.
with respect as if they have a body like we do. Because they,
Respect. Yeah. Treat them with respect.
right, you have to go in with respect. You know,
exactly.
you have to treat them the same that you would treat a living human being in your face.
Mm. And the guys, and the one thing that keeps me about paranormal investigators is do not talk in a specific way. Like Tracy is saying, is just talk to them because they are people.
Mhm.
There's nothing different about them.
That's
They
right. They
still, it's nothing. You
Oh, and
know. So go ahead.
one of the biggest things I tell people that I investigate with or that investigate with us is for God's sakes, don't whisper because that is a freaking EVP nightmare.
Yeah.
Correct.
yeah.
You know, and guys, and the biggest problem that I have is, and I'll tell everybody that came on the show, I'm an out of the box paranormal investigator. I like to think out of the box. As a matter of fact, I like to rip it up every now and then because it keeps the spirit's attention. If you in the box and there's 50,000 other paranormal investigators in the box that's doing the same thing, asking the same damn questions, and dude, it's gonna drive me crazy as a spirit. I mean, that makes me not want to communicate with you.
Hmm.
And
Talking
so,
to the red light.
Talk to the red light.
can you light up that damn cat ball, dude?
We've all said it.
My wife likes to ask if you're a butt man or a boob man.
Hey, I
You
like
know what?
that.
And
Yeah.
that is
We haven't
out the
tried
box.
that one. We're gonna have to try that.
Yes.
That now,
We're going to steal that. Just let you know, we're stealing that.
you know
I
what?
did. We were
I'm gonna
we were
steal it.
live. We were live on
Yeah.
an investigation in Independence, Missouri, and I'm the one that does the research on the team. And a lot of times I build cases if it's a family through ancestry, and I find out a lot of stuff. Well, a lot of the stuff that I read, like in the newspaper, this guy was like a womanizer. So we were all sitting in the what was it, the lobotomy room.
Yeah.
We were all sitting in the lobotomy room, and there was like 6 of us in there. And I just everybody was quiet, and I said, "Well, can you tell me if you were a boob man or a butt man?" And
He likes boobs.
You got the answer.
Never would even think about asking somebody that.
X-rated
I'm gonna steal
EVP.
it.
That, or do you miss sandwiches, or did you like
Well,
steak? Stupid stuff.
now, okay, guys. Okay, answer this question for me, guys, because I think me and you have had this discussion, and after Walker, I think me and you have had this discussion also. Is there politics in heaven?
I freaking hope not.
Is there politics in heaven? No, but
I
listen
don't
to me,
think
guys.
there's so much arguing there.
But here's the things. Why are so many spirits, or if you ask them specific questions, you get specific answers. Now, if you ask them, can you tell me what color it is? And if you actually had communication with the spirit, and they ask you, can you do this? Are you allowed to do that? They always say, hey, I can't tell you that. So there is somebody with the hierarchy that is telling these spirits that, hey, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that,
Word
you
guy.
can't discuss this, you can't discuss that. So there's
Mhm.
got to be some kind of politicking going on who's putting these laws out, because apparently these are laws, and you have to go by these laws if you in a certain place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eileen said if there's politics, it's not heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Oh man, boy, that would be, you know what? That would be open for a great debate on another show, because there is many people out there that like to say, yes, there is politics in heaven. Because if not, everything would be free will. You will be able to say what you want, when you want, how you want. And if you're asking specific questions, then you should be able to get specific answers. But in certain instances, that's not the case.
Mhm.
They want to keep it to your, I can't say imagination, because sometimes our imaginations run wild, but
I'm
they want
pretty
to
sure
keep
they
it
have
where
boundaries.
boundary. Well, ain't boundaries sort of like laws?
I don't know. I guess if we were supposed to know everything, we would know everything.
You know, ain't they? Okay, this is perfect.
There's a hierarchy that apply to every plane of existence. Yeah.
And to a certain instance, I'm right, because there are politics. Okay, if there's a hierarchy, the hierarchy has to get the laws from someone. Somebody had to put this together,
Hmm.
and that's
Yeah,
one
we
of
will
those.
know when we get there.
That's one of those Arsenio Hall questions. Those of you
Yeah,
guys that have ever seen Arsenio Hall.
I'm
Mhm.
old too. I've seen
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Okay.
And that finger of his, boy, that long.
Yeah. Right. Okay, guys. Now, with us at our peak at paranormal investigating, which we all know there's no such thing as a peak, because we're constantly learning. Now, the new generation of paranormal investigators, how do you guys feel about them?
Well, if we're
Well,
talking about kids like Sam and Colby, you know, you
I mean,
know,
Sam and Kobe, the YouTubers that are out investigating, the TikTok investigators, and so many others that are, coming up behind us. What do
I
you have
can't
to
answer
say?
that. I don't watch them. I
I
don't know
don't.
who Sam and Tony is or whoever
Cody.
Cody is. I
No,
don't.
I've never watched them. I just see their
Uh,
name.
I've seen
and,
quite a bit. I've got
and I've heard some
a
things.
preteen that is very interested.
Now,
I think more because she thinks they're cute, but other than
is it
that,
the ones that ride in?
it's,
Is it the ones that ride
okay,
in the RV?
okay, guys. Now,
maybe I think that
w-
sounds right. I think so, but I'm not sure.
okay, now with the just discussion we just had within the last 10 seconds, there's nothing negative. I mean, there's nothing positive about these generation that's coming up.
No.
So, therefore, can we all say that the next generation of paranormal investigators are going to be wishy washy? You know
They'll
what I'm
be
saying?
calling us because they have spirit attachments following them home
But the
and them
thing
having
is,
problems. They're going to call the higher up people that have the experience.
but if we're
Yeah,
no
I'm
longer
letting
here, who they going to call?
Oh, they're going to be in a
I
bind.
knew it was coming. I knew it. I knew it.
They're going to be in a bind.
They're going to
Uh,
be okay. Now, okay,
We're going to be
let's
on that side laughing at them.
exactly. So, what's going to happen once this generation of coming up in paranormal investigators are in our situation now? And so, what about the generation after them? Would there be a paranormal? I mean, how would they invest? I mean, I'm lost for words because I don't even know what the hell. Are they going to be anybody that's going to invest in, man, the next
Well,
generation
hopefully
or
I'll
the
be on the
generation
other
after
side
that?
by then. But
Be
I have
you gonna live
kids that
forever?
want to be. They have kids that want to be on my team, and I call them kids because I'm almost 62. But
No, you're not.
they have they have people that are in their 30s, say, okay, or a little younger, want to be on my team, and they really get upset when I tell them no. And they're like, well, why? Because I really want to be I watch it on TV, blah, 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 blah. I say, you know what? You go and get a whole full life because you haven't had experience yet, boo. Go get a life.
Oh, she called him.
Go have children. Go get married 10 times. Go do something else because you're going to have all these problems and you're going to take all these spirits, to your children, to your family. You're going to give them all these problems because you don't know what you're doing yet.
Mm,
Go and live your life. I know this because I grew up that way. So
Hopefully
I
I
damn,
can
can.
tell them. I'm old enough to
damn,
tell them.
damn, B. Why you say boo? Come,
I tell them.
I feel
boy.
like I can
Hey,
say from being a young paranormal investigator myself, I would probably suggest that um, I had to go out and kind of experience it for myself. I didn't really have a mentor that I could kind of turn to with this. I'm
Yeah.
kind of figuring it out as I go, just because I don't like to play it by going on YouTube, looking at the travel channel shows that they have or anything like that. Like it, yes, it's
That's what most of
entertaining.
them do.
Yes, I do watch a lot of it, but I know from my personal experiences, and I've had a lot, and I've only been doing this for about 6 years, going on 7 now. But it's hard to have that kind of mindset of is it going to be like how it is on TV? I mean, no, it's not.
no.
But
No.
then who do I have to turn to
But there's a
where I can gain knowledge and not have it be so like, well, you have to be a certain way from these experiences versus going through these damn TikToks and YouTube and all these crazy things, because it's not, you don't see everything. um you don't see a lot of crazy things every single time you do it, like how I was saying beforehand. And you really have to kind of develop in your role and know what you think that you can pursue, what you know that you can definitely kind of continue with a question, like, did that actually happen? Was that in my head? Did I play too much into it? Or did that happen where it's no, I know the definite answer for this question, which personally I don't think that I'll ever understand or know how a certain situation that I have had before. I won't kind of go into that because it's still kind of crazy, but I will say that opening my eyes to this world, this profession, this very exciting and yet terrifying part of my life, I can honestly say, as a young paranormal investigator, that it's something that I dream about doing forever, and hopefully I can one day teach someone else how to do it, not necessarily quote unquote traditional right way,
Mhm.
but I would say the way that I taught myself.
That gives me hope for the future. I mean, honestly, let's be real. So, if we have more young paranormal investigators like Anthony here, we'll be in good shape.
Yeah.
So, you
Well,
need to teach young
they have
antiques.
people that are mature for their age, but a
Yes.
lot of them are not. You know, they're not, and they get on, like he said, YouTube and TikTok and all this, and that's what they see. They want the fun out of it, and that's not how it is. If you're not in
And,
it for the right reasons, don't get in it because you're going to
and
end up in a bad situation.
and
Yeah,
I'm
it sounds
telling you,
like
dude, that foundation that whoever built before us are starting to crack, like Interstate 10 going into Lafayette. Ah, it's just bad. I mean, there's cracks everywhere. How do we fix that? I
And you
don't
wonder
know.
what's wrong with us. Yeah,
I
all
don't know
cracked
how
up.
we fix that, But the great thing about the next two generations is the equipment is going to be unbelievable.
The
What
oh
equipment may
yeah.
they
do the job for them.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah.
It's going to be, and to me, and I don't know how you guys feel about this. I think AI will play a big part on the way that future paranormal investigators will investigate.
It's a scary
What,
thought.
you know what
It
I'm
is.
Can
saying?
you, Terry? Can you elaborate on that?
Well, I just think that when if AI was to evolve like it is, like it's going, I mean, right now it's a bunch of crap. But as AI is evolved and it gets into everything, you be able to AI will be able to sense things, sense motions, detect. I mean, it can actually, be like a what are those things called that maps out something in a corner? It will be able to do that. I
Oh,
mean,
SOS.
it's going to be a sight to see. I think the day of the camera is gone. Because I don't think nobody will actually have cameras anymore in the next generation or two. I think everything was going to be either goggles or glasses.
Well,
With,
now they have
I mean,
smart glasses. I seen
I
that on
mean,
Yeah.
TV the other day.
pretty much
Mm-hmm.
like
Smart
military
glasses.
style.
Yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
have smart watches, smart glasses.
And
But then,
hey, go ahead.
sorry, but then does that beg the question? Can any of it be authenticated in the scientific community? Because of not that long ago, Ed and Lorraine Warren, they used those very big, heavy cameras that they had to set up, old fashioned tape recorders,
Tripod
versus now
things.
I can record a voice memo on my phone. Like it's crazy on how fast we can advance as a society. But when it comes to the paranormal and using equipment, I found out about the REM pod way back when I was able to save up money and finally get myself one. But then at the same time, it's such a simple device that uses old technology in a new way. How is it going to be when you need to have, like, sometimes you, and I don't know if this goes for any of y'all, it most likely will, but you take a snapshot on a camera with flash, even an old Polaroid, and you get some crazy stuff. You can't do that on a simple iPhone unless you're lucky, or an Android, or a Samsung, or any anything that's like crazy now that you can just that cost thousands of dollars.
That's why I
You
got
know,
one of
and
these.
The old
it's
school
just
way is pretty good way.
it's
The old
just yeah,
school
the
way.
old school way is the good way, but
Mhm.
This is
it's
the
Use your intuition also,
yeah.
You know what I like to use? I like to use an old fashioned compass, pendulum,
Oh,
Yeah, we do
uh,
pendulum.
yeah, we use
with
that.
Oh,
dowsing
yeah.
Thousand
rods.
rods. Hmm.
Hmm.
Oh, it's not always about the electronics.
That's
I
right.
use myself.
Right,
Yeah, your
right.
body.
I do the Singapore theory where we go and investigate, like, say, a hospital, and I'll dress as like a nurse. We went and did the Arkansas Air Museum. I dressed up like was it an airline stewardess?
Yes.
Um, and then that's what I do is I make myself a trigger object.
Mhm.
Ah, okay.
that's crazy.
I like that.
I didn't
Awesome.
even
That's
think of that.
interesting.
I do
Yeah, I
too.
like
But hey, you never got to worry about Halloween costumes.
that.
No,
I pick out the costumes. I usually make them sexy.
Oh,
Oh,
see, why you just
so you're the boob in the butt man. Yeah.
You must be the butt man. Oh, sorry, Angel.
you know, guys, it's you know, if I was to predict the future, you know, and I can honestly, and I'm being honest here, it doesn't look bright for us. It looks dark. It looks gleamy, and I don't think it has the potential to be what we should be. And with that said, is it's going to go back to what we talked about an hour ago. Is we won't be able to have that chair at the table if these guys are our future.
Right.
You know
But
what I'm
All we
saying?
could do is pray that they have a
So
little
yes,
common sense and do it for the right reasons.
so
hmm
I think, guys, the time is now for us. Somebody in the paranormal community has to step up, become the leader of our organization or whatever that we are, and make a big effort so we can have that seat at the table. Because the cryptozoologists do, the man, the zoologists do, everything that's an ologist is sitting at that table, except for what? A parapsychologist.
Hmm.
And I don't think that's fair. You know what I'm saying? And most of these guys have not been around long enough than we've been around.
What
Hmm.
table
Come,
are we talking about? I mean, I'm not trying to be smart ass. I'm actually ignorant to this. I mean, is there some kind of
well,
big
at
meeting
this
going on?
point,
figurative
we're
table.
talking. Yeah, we're talking about the scientific table, where all the scientific experts are sitting, discussing, educating. Everybody's doing that except for us, and
Are we gonna
trust
basically?
me.
Are we ever gonna get a real voice within the scientific community?
I
And
don't
right.
think so.
it's going to be a long time. I think that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hell, if any,
We
if the
we
next
can't
two
even put
generations.
out our evidence without getting bashed about it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But after Walker was talking about before, or before the show even started, we were talking about Bigfoot. Hell, dude, come on, man! Bigfoot is at the table. How is that
And
that
you're right.
people?
Bigfoot is at the table. Yeah.
Yeah.
How is that the scientific community can accept some the same thing that we present to them, blurry pictures, half-ass, evidence, but yet they're sitting down there on the left-hand corner eating popcorn and drinking goddamn uh, juice or whatever they're doing down there. We are not the ones. Hey, we the ones that's bringing evidence, valuable evidence to the table since day one, since the Warrens, and probably before the Warrens. But it's not going to happen. You can sit over there and eat popcorn and drink, uh,
Juice.
man, whatever kind of juice that you're drinking. Hey, I'm thinking that they're drinking pickle juice, but that's just me. Oh, get
I'm gonna say this, like we started the show with. I know what I've seen. I know what I've felt. I know what I've heard. I don't give a shit if anybody believes me or not. That I think that's what it for me. That's what it boils down to. I mean, I could care less. If the rest of the world knew and I brought it to them. I ain't out here to be famous. But
no. I mean, and will and I understand it. I understand what you're saying, brother. But neither are the cryptozoologists, neither are the archaeologists, neither of those guys are trying to be famous either. What they discovered was significant to the world. Now, what we find is significant to the world. It's just that they just think we're a bunch of zinger eating mudsuckers. And it's not cool, dude. I mean, it really pisses me off when
You know what I think it
you
is,
don't have
Terry?
a. Yes, ma'am.
I think it's because they know in the back of their mind, sorry, they know in the back of their mind that one day they will be in the spirit world. And
nailed
some
it.
people are not ready to accept that. And if we can prove it, they have to accept it.
Well, it's weird because one of the most famous religions on the planet have acknowledged, hey, it's a possibility there is something going on here. And this dude, they just did a TV show literally 3 months talking about that. But
Yeah.
yet, nothing.
We
And the
have had
paranormal
cases.
world is not as scary as a supernatural world.
And
Things that
we've
were
had
never
cases.
human never will be human. Sorry.
No, you're fine. There's a lag, but there's been a case where we've had to call in a Catholic priest to bless a home. You know what would have happened if we'd have called the First Baptist down the street?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I can
And I'm
imagine.
Baptist.
They probably
But
would have hung up on you.
right, you're very right. I mean, we live in the buckle of the Bible Belt here, and I mean, when I started this here after I moved here, anyway, when I started in here, my first year, well, I was going to a Baptist church, and my pastor was no, and I'm like, yeah, I am, you know. But yeah, the church, especially Baptists, your Pentecostals, they're, the only spirit you should be worried about is
The Holy
the
One.
Holy One,
Right.
pretty much.
Well, hell, ain't all of them holy?
Only the ones that
We're
don't
gonna
I was gonna say back to what y'all had said earlier. We've all had our experiences. We know what we've seen. We know what we've believed and experienced, and how it can change, and how we can really kind of justify for ourselves. But does that also, I guess that does that bear the question? Does that also pertain to how we're not taken seriously in terms of, if we record what we see and it's real, and we try to put it out there, do you think that people would be saying the same thing about us as we're saying about them, when it comes to posting something on Facebook, or on YouTube, or stuff like that? Not to get ratings, but seeing something that's real and us being like, well, we know it's real. Yeah, but I feel like for us to get a good seat at the table, would have to try to really be like, you know what, if you can tell me how this is faked, how this is not real with logical evidence, then by all means. And if you can't, then help me try to um, understand it better. I feel like that's a good way to at least try to get our damn foot in the door. Because right now we're outside in the damn lobby, twiddling our thumbs, waiting for these people, when we should really be knocking down the damn door and being like, this is what we have. And if you have something to say about it, that's going to be like, oh, that's nothing, let's move on. Well, no, explain it. And if you can tell me how this is fake, give me a logical reason for it, then let's try to figure this out together rather than just being like, you guys are going to talk about whatever y'all want to and we're going to talk about whatever we want to, but nothing's really getting done. Because
Mm.
it's really hard to be, I'm 26 years old, and it's really hard to for anyone to really kind of take me seriously, especially if I shave. um
I'm 39,
it's
and if
really
I
hard for
shave
anyone
Bless
to
your
try to
more,
take
heart.
me seriously because
Little
I
baby.
don't have. I'm here in Santa Fe. There's many places I could go to go investigate, especially like downtown. Um, but
Anthony,
sometimes
you do
people,
this by yourself?
yes,
By
I
yourself?
I do it all by myself.
Wow.
I've been in dark rooms, at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Um, Once I recorded myself doing the Estes method by myself. I don't really recommend that.
I
Um,
wouldn't either.
I
but
don't either.
I the only place I would say I really have been, there's a cemetery in Cimarron, that I went to. I actually talked about it on the last podcast I was on with Terry. But um, this place, I was so scared to get out of the damn car. I drove 2.5 hours away to go to this location. I was the tension was so palpable that that's the only location I have ever been to where I just couldn't get out of the car.
Dude, you
Wow.
need to get
But
some backup.
Yeah,
back
Yeah,
to
really.
listen
the
to
but
your intuition for one
I
thing.
mean, there was
Yeah.
one. My best friend was doing it with me, but she, has a family now, and she has her full time job, and I'm not
Mhm.
going to get in the way of her being happy and doing what she loves to do. But
Right.
Mhm.
um, back to the conversation at hand, I feel like if anyone is going to at least help us get our foot in the door, we have to be able to say, yes, I'm doing. Yes, like Um, I don't really care if you believe me or not, but that I feel it can only go so far if we're not willing to be like, no, here's what I have. Sit down and listen, and if you really think that I fake this, if you can prove it, then go ahead and go right for it. Because if you
Well,
can't, then we have a conversation.
we do get to present our evidence when we speak at conventions.
Yeah,
I mean,
but the
I
thing
do,
is, the
and
thing
I have a
is
whole
that
audience. Go ahead.
if if we get to going to these conventions, I mean, it's not just the people that are in this podcast that are doing it, right? There's a whole world out there, but I feel like we don't have, at least yet, someone who can be like, going to these conventions and be like, this is the evidence that I present. This is the situation that had happened. This is the research I did, and everything is kind of falling in line here. The only thing is that that what's really not helping, especially in my personal opinion, is it's really not helping. Is that people like those ones who are doing it for clout or who are doing it for views or trying to be famous, they're really kind of like
There-
shutting the door because they have a pretty face. You know what I mean? Like they're just
mhm.
kind of like, no, you don't really understand it. Let me go ahead and do it because I get more people to watch me. It's
Mm.
just it's
Dude,
hard.
you've got a good head on
World
your
we live
shoulders for
in, boo.
26.
It's the world we live
Yeah.
in. Yep.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that's where the naked paranormal thing comes in. You get more views.
Hmm.
And that can
Wow.
help, but it has to be for the right reasons. We can't just let these people try to be like, no, this is what we have, and oh my god, they make it so exaggerated. They edit the crap out of it, and they make a simple light flicker. They react so crazy, but it's like,
Exactly.
no, it's something that happens that we're so used to. I bet you if something fell in a haunted house right in front of us, we kind of be like, okay, why? Instead of being like, oh my god, run out of the room and spend 25 minutes outside and poke
We
our
Mm.
talk.
ass. It's like that's not how shit's gonna get done.
Uh-uh. Wow. Now, guys, is it now? I've just recently start going to Paracons. I've went to two so far. Naked and Afraid. Oh, wow. Is it easy to say that actually going to a Paracon to present evidence for society, does that really help us or does that hurt us? Because the scientific community is not going to really be at these Paracons because it's bad enough they already think that we BS. So at what convention do you guys think that we need to be at so this can be like everything that Anthony has said can actually be put to good use and
That was
where
my
we can
question.
have this
What
voice.
table are we talking about?
I feel like the table would probably be lectures, like how, like you go to. I used to go to college at Eastern New Mexico University, and we had so many people come to our college to like either perform or give lectures and stuff like that. Like it's not necessarily bringing it back to the basics, but it's saying, hey, this is what we have, and this is how we can present it. Because I feel like also if we have the fun ones, having the fun where we can be ourselves and people don't look at us crazy or call us crazy or egg our cars, and that paint really was not, it was really expensive to get it done.
Right.
Um, but when it comes
Wow.
to being a a pillar in not necessarily my community per se, but in our field, how
Mhm.
can I guess the question would be is can we get people to really kind of open their mindset to allow us to present our findings and our evidence without making it a big showboat, without being like, oh, but that's what will bring people in. No, what will bring people in, if we present it correctly, is the real people who want to learn, like a class, like a course in college, like a lesson you can go out and you get to learn about these things, rather it being like, oh, it's like Comic Con, or hey, it's like it's gonna be a the hell was that thing recently? It wasn't Comic Con, but it was something where
Paracon.
people it was I'm sorry, I'm losing my words here. If we are able to basically say, hey, this is what we have to present, and the people who really want to learn about it come forth and be like, okay, well, what do you have? Like the first student in a class, like they really want to learn, or are they just going to be in there to goof off? We have to kind of filter them out, because if you're here to really learn about it, then I feel like we could have a solid future in this field, or have people who can become the the Einsteins of the paranormal field, and like per se, because it can be, we're the weirdos, we're the ones that kind of go out and look for what's going on in the bump of the night, because we all ask the same question of why, not
Mhm.
why, or not, we all ask why, we don't ask how can we get more views, how can we do this, how can we do that. You're on the right track, but you're also doing it for the wrong reasons.
Right. And that's the thing. It's to not be put in the same class with Comic Con. You see, it needs to be a platform where they take us seriously. But as long as you've got these kids out there that are all they're after is the views, like this TikTok stuff and all of that, they're not going to take us seriously because they're going to lump us into that same category. It's not serious. And
Yeah. Because I
until we can separate ourselves from the TikTok stuff and the sensationalism on, you know, I'm not going to name the show, but
well, 'cause I think YouTube has done that already. You know, if you look at YouTube, YouTube will allow anybody and everybody, whether it's believable or not, to post stuff on YouTube, just like any other social media outlet.
mhm,
And to me, it seems like it's really hurting.
it
You
hurts
know,
us.
it's really hurting. I mean, just when you thought I'm taking a notch, hell, we get knocked back three.
Mm-hmm.
We take four, but we'll knock back six. And to
Mm-hmm.
me, there's no way. I mean, that fluctuation needs to be consistent moving forward instead of going three forward and eight back. Because I don't like going back to square two when I just barely got out of square one. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, Anthony, I understand what you're talking about, Tracy. It's got to be something bigger and better for us to do what we need to do. Now,
It's
I'm not
true.
saying, and I'm not saying that Paracons or Paracons are good, but at the same time, they hurt us.
Well, it's also, UFOs weren't taken seriously until they took it to the Senate. You
Correct.
know, until they took it to the Senate, and that's where we
Mm-hmm.
need to get to. We need to get to the Senate. I mean, once we get
But the
there,
hell,
we got to see
the
the.
Senate has some of the biggest hypocrites on the planet. So
I
why do
agree.
you think they?
I
I
agree,
mean,
but I
I
still
don't.
believe that's the destination that we got to get to because, again, they didn't start taking UFO seriously until people took it to the Senate
Well, let me
in
ask you this:
2017.
Mm-hmm.
I
you
think.
bring
Go
up the
ahead.
Senate. One of my bucket list houses is the White House. It's supposed to be one of the most haunted houses in the
Oh yeah,
world.
I wouldn't doubt it.
True.
So the government knows about it.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah.
You know what? The White House on your corner, the way you live at, that's the most haunted house. Got you on that one.
There you go.
It all goes back to
I live out in the country. I don't have a house on the corner.
they don't take us serious, you know. They just don't take us seriously.
No,
Well, at least we
And
have
see,
our personal experiences and we know what we know. And as
Mm-hmm.
long as we're helping people, I can die happily.
okay,
Yeah.
now, okay, this is a question that I have for you, B. Since you mentioned that, at
Okay.
what point, when we all got personal experiences. At
All right.
what point, since you're going to start judging yourself because you're not being heard, you're not being taken seriously, at what point are you going to start judging yourself about that?
Never.
Yeah.
I will never judge myself as long as I'm helping others and I know I'm doing the right thing and I'm not provoking the spirit world or trying to bring bad things into this world because it's bad enough. As long as I'm on the
Ooh,
right track, I will not judge myself harshly or
hallelujah.
others the same.
No, and it's true.
High
It's the
five.
thing. The whole reason that we get into this is to help other people.
Okay,
Yeah, I
sorry, go
agree.
ahead, Tracy. B's over there being funny
Jerry.
again.
Tracy's hiding back there.
Yeah, I'm Jerry.
Yes, she's
Oh,
He's
Jerry.
damn.
he's
I've been
Tracy.
calling you Tracy the whole damn time.
uh,
Hey, 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 I blame those guys from Oklahoma about that. I blame them.
oh, because April.
It's y'all's fault that he calls me Tracy.
Them boys from Oklahoma. You know what they say.
Yeah.
My
It's always
goodness,
my fault.
It is. It's okay. I got big shoulders.
I love y'all's backdrop.
Thank you.
Wait a minute. Speaking of, didn't I, the last time you guys were on the show, didn't I ask to get that?
Yeah, but you ain't getting it.
You never
It's
sent it to me.
just a backdrop. But my wife's art desk is behind there.
What is it? Oh, it's wood, isn't it?
Well, you know what? Getting back to the seriousness of the conversation is it possible that we need our own organization?
Well, yeah, that's what Eileen's
Well,
saying.
But
For
here's
one,
the
Yeah,
thing.
Eileen just put in a comment, and it makes sense. She's like, we need an organization like the Societies for Physical Psychical Research. There need to be a standard operating procedures, set perimeters, a peer review, and everyone has to agree with that, like science. Makes
You
sense.
know, that would make a lot of sense And I see it being a nonprofit organization,
Mhm.
but it takes money to become a nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Well, and
saying? And
there are organizations out there.
I just got
I don't know how organized they are, but there are organizations out there that do try to. I don't know if I can think of any of them off the top of my head, but there is these. I think they call themselves the Center for Paranormal Research or something like that. You may have heard of that one.
mhm.
I don't know what they do, but I mean, so I guess what I'm saying is if I'm hearing everybody correctly, kind of like a governing body, an organizational hierarchy, a headquarters. Um, my question for that would be though, who's going to lead it? You know,
It would have to be. I mean, it would have to be a strong-minded individual that will, that will put everything at the forefront. I mean, that would
but
just throw everything at the table.
and unfortunately, something like that would be probably started. If it were to happen, would probably be started by someone like a Zach Bagans or
Nope.
and right.
He said no.
Nope.
And
But guys, here's the thing. Now we're talking about organizations. Now, if
He's
I'm
got the
right,
money.
most major universities have research facilities for stuff that we do. You know what I'm saying? So reaching out to certain universities uh, might be the answer.
yeah,
Might be the answer. Now, I do know, as I talk to you guys, well, some of you guys ain't been on the show in a while, is uh, some high schools in the state of Texas are taking parapsychology as an elective.
hmm
That
Really?
is really freaking cool.
well, and there are more and more major universities that are starting to have parapsychology and paranormal studies or anomalistic investigation studies. I've looked into it. I mean, here recently, as a matter of fact. Then you have places like Thomas or can't remember the TF University, Thomas Francis University. But here's the thing, where you can get a bachelor's, master's, and a PhD if you pay $900 in parapsychology. But guess what? It's not federally credited, so it doesn't mean jack. You're paying $900 for a piece of paper and maybe some decent information. I don't know. But what I'm saying is there
Well,
are
you
there are a number. There's the Paranormal Academy out of the UK that you can pay like $34 and take a little 5 module course and be a certified paranormal investigator. And I've heard of people actually doing this. Is it good? I don't know. I'd have to see the curriculum, but I'm not gonna. I don't know if I'm willing to pay. Although it is the Paranormal Academy is only like $34. But I guess what
messing
I'm
with my
saying,
beer money.
but at least there are some things out there that if I don't know if they're legitimate or not, but maybe if more people utilize them, that might bring a little bit more credibility um, to have more of a legitimate certification process. If that makes any sense to anybody.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
the
mean,
Warrens actually have it's the Warren Foundation, and it's Ed and Lorraine's grandson. They asked us to be a part of it, and we decided not to. It's
We
everyone.
did it for a year.
Yeah, we did it for a year, but they want all these dues, and there's money to be made on their end, and I think it's just kind of a way to milk everybody out of money.
Sure. Sure.
If you do an investigation, you cannot share your evidence.
Oh, yeah.
well,
It has to be
well,
all
So it's not
authentic.
your evidence.
Right.
Yeah. No.
well.
No
I mean,
thanks.
I'm not finna spend $34, man. You messing with my bud and suds if I do that.
Kate and Jack.
Consumer money.
Yeah. Speaking of, man, I'm craving them right now. You know what I'm saying? But hey, guys, We've been on the show for 2 hours and 10 minutes. Today, this has been a great conversation. I really appreciate it. So many different teams that bring so many different attributes to the table, and man, it's been one for the ages. You guys actually lived up to the hype. I really appreciate it. Okay, now, any closing arguments for you guys? Please, the floor is yours.
I have something I want to add in there. I'm not arguing anything, but the young man from New Mexico. I'm sorry, your name slipped me.
Anthony.
Anthony, man, you've got. It seems like you got a good head on your shoulders, and keep it up for what you're doing. And
Absolutely.
for God's sakes, get a partner, dude. Have somebody watch your back.
Find somebody, man. Even if
Hey,
it's and cracking your head on something in
you
the
know
dark.
what? The way I find people is I go into these. I will go into Santa Fe because you live in Santa Fe, right?
Yeah.
I will go into Santa Fe's Facebook and post an ad.
No,
Every last one of them. Post an ad and just
Jerry's
go.
like, don't do that.
That's what I did to get. Hey, trust me. And if Santa Fe is more conservative than Cedar Park, Texas, then something's wrong because Cedar Park, Texas is hella conservative. I
I feel
mean,
like I feel like there's just not enough traction um, in our particular field over here, which is it's sad because we have so much culture and history in our town, and no one really thinks. I mean, people do ghost tours, but they don't investigate. Like they do it to make a buck, but they don't do it for like we've been discussing this whole time, like for the right reasons. They kind of just, which is fine. I mean, you do you. I like to ask the big questions. I like to think further down, like when it came to how we would even start something where, excuse me, where it could be an official backed. You can get a degree in it. You can, with parapsychology, you can, uh, if there was like a organization where you'd have to, it was so big and massive for our field so that it can go on for future generations,
mhm.
put it into a vote, see who has the highest potential to lead. Or we have a master class where we just go on and, it'd be free, and then you get sponsors and you can try to be like, reject the ones that don't agree with your ideals or that will just try to do it to make a profit or do it for views and stuff. But I feel like it's a double edged sword because you have people who are interested in the field, and then you have people who are interested in the field only to gain um, only to gain money or to gain fame or stuff like that for their own interests. Like it's a field that I'm very passionate about and that I love to death, and it's the most exhilarating and terrifying job profession I would say it's classified as that you can get.
right.
That's not
Well,
necessarily.
now you have higher friends that care. So if you need me, reach out, and please be careful out there, and
Yes.
just know that sometimes your thoughts are not your own, and you have to learn to distinguish those two.
Yeah.
You
goddamn, I
need, you
love
need,
B.
You
I
got
love you,
me?
girl. I love you because you hit it. You hit the ham. I mean, you hit that nail every time. You bang bang. Hey, and I'm
I'm good
speechless.
with hands.
I'm not gonna say. Oh Lord, I'm not gonna say anything after that. But guys, hey, any closing? I'm not gonna say arguments because I feel like if I'm in a damn law office, any closing? I can't say statements because I feel like I'm still in there. All right, hey, any last comments, guys?
there you go.
All I gotta say is I've enjoyed this immensely talking to you guys. If you guys ever want to
get in contact and do something together, we're absolute game. Because I think we're all pretty well on the same page, and we're close enough to where we can make things happen.
Yeah, and we do not extend that invitation to just everybody because we kind of do our own thing, keep to ourselves. Not that we don't want to work with people, we just want people who are like-minded, like Bernadine said earlier. So, yeah, we would love it.
So Terry,
Okay.
send us each other's information.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Send us all each other's information so that
Yeah,
we can.
definitely.
Well, okay. Well, you know what? Starting with, because I do this every podcast. Bernadette, tell the world how to get a hold of you.
Well, my name's Bernadine.
You call her Bean.
Yeah.
Well,
Poor
tell the
thing.
world how to get a hold of you, Bernadine. Well,
Bernadine
damn.
Richardson. You can find me on Facebook, and I'm also on the Supernatural Substation. I'm the co-host with the host Eileen Pastanio, and we have a YouTube channel. You could find me there. You could find me on Louisiana State Paranormal Research Society, LSPR-Society on Facebook. My whole team's on there. And yeah, look me up on Google. You can find all
Oh.
kinds of stuff.
Hey, Sue, you look so quiet sitting up in there in that corner. I haven't had the opportunity to pick on you.
Well, you know what? This has been a very big learning experience for me. Like I said, I'm new to all this, but I see a big show coming up with everybody on here. I think it'd be great if we could all get together and like do an investigation, and I think film it.
Well, you know, hey, and
Show.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The only way y'all gonna get me out of Central Texas if B cook a big old meal for us.
Now she has to
That's
make
the only way that's gonna happen. She's gonna have to cook up something big.
Dean,
Yeah.
we can
And I'll make
those
cheesecake.
gumbo and potato salad.
Cheesecake.
There you go, some gumbo, potato salad, and cheesecake.
That's right.
What?
Hey, and what's for dessert?
Cheesecake.
Said cheesecake.
Zingers.
There you go.
Darn it. Zinger bomb.
Zingers.
Zingers and
bomb.
milk.
Okay,
And you
so
gotta make sure that milk is cold.
this whole zinger thing must be an inside joke, but I think it's hilarious because
No, it's
He
not.
always eats zingers on his show. Yeah.
No,
I'm gonna have
that's
to
real.
get a
Man.
hold of the zinger people.
I'll bring
Oh,
the
you-
turkey fries.
You telling me there's no zingers in Oklahoma?
oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
no, there's
that's
zingers. I
definitely-
just y'all were talking. I've heard the word zinger like multiple times. So it's funny.
Man, hey man, you never had zingers in milk? I mean, or zingers in beer? Zingers goes with everything.
Zingers and
Except for orange juice, don't do that.
Ooh.
Oh well, man, I've yet to try that. That sounds
No.
good. I might dip them.
I
Terry, you
love
need to stand up and
It's better
turn
too.
sideways. We need to see that gut.
he goes.
Zingers and Bud Light.
Hey, I've been lost a lot of weight, man. I was trying to look good for the summer, but it didn't work out. Long
there's always some.
kept drinking these.
And eating zingers.
Yeah, and eating those darn zingers, man. I don't know how that's gonna work. But I bought 2 boxes. When was that? 2 weeks ago. I went to work. I only had 3 left. I wonder who ate them.
Hmm.
My son over here. But anyway, guys. Yeah. But he's going back to school here shortly. Hey, if you guys want to meet me in Texas, and how far are you guys from Tyler, Texas?
Who, us, Tyler?
3.5
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Sounds about right.
Okay. How far are you from Tyler?
Oh my goodness, I don't know.
Looking
Probably
at
about 5 hours.
Gary's looking it up.
Yeah, it's probably between
Uh,
How
5.
far are you from Houston?
Oh man, I'm about 2.5, 3 hours from Houston.
Oh yeah, so we're looking at
Like
about
7
6.
hours.
Yep.
Woo!
I'm 10
Will,
hours.
Will, how far are you from Tyler, Texas?
4 hours to
Four
get
and a
to
half.
Houston.
Well, we're about 4.5.
Oh my God, dude! Have you guys ever thought about investigating Camp Ford?
No, haven't. I don't think I've heard of it.
Yeah, man. Apparently, over 200 Civil War soldiers died on that place.
It's called Camp Ford.
Camp Ford, yeah, yeah. Look it up if you get a chance. The numbers might be wrong on the exactly, but I know there was a large amount of soldiers died there.
It,
Union soldiers, because that's where the Confederate would take the Union soldiers there.
Look.
huh.
We are 4 hours and 30 minutes away from Tyler, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
It's
That'd
not
be a
too
good
bad.
place. That'd be a good place to meet up and investigate. I'm 4 hours away from there myself, so
Okay.
it's 4 hours each way.
Yeah, it sounds like it's kind of a central location for us all.
Yeah, it just sits on the east side of Dallas.
He's
Please,
like,
nope, nope.
If we go to New Mexico, I'm going to Roswell.
Well, Roswell,
Yeah, let's go.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'm all about that.
No. It ain't Roswell. We need to go. What is that big military base just south of New Mexico, Anthony?
Area
The one
51.
nobody likes to talk about.
Area 51.
No,
No,
Area
White
You
Sands.
said New Mexico? That's Dulce? Or
Dulce. That's
Dulce?
where you want to go.
Ah,
How
So,
far is Dulce from you,
Let me
Anthony?
see. Because I will say for Tyler, Texas, I'm about 10 and a half hours away from there.
oh,
Woo!
oh, wow.
Yeah,
there you go.
boy. He's in for a long drive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Dulce is about 2 hours and 24 minutes.
Wow.
Okay.
Hey, you guys really want to talk about UFOs? That place is a hotbed.
yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Hmm
and also Skinwalkers because it's near the Navajo
The
Nation.
Skinwalker Ranch.
That's in
We
Utah.
have
Love to go to Skidwater
we
Ranch.
have Ghost Ranch as well out here.
Okay.
A lot of prison ghosts, huh? Interesting.
Oh yeah, the what is it? The riots that the
Uh huh.
penitentiary that happened.
Right.
I
Oh,
Yeah.
want to say it's about 20 minutes away from where I am right now, off of Highway 14.
How much they charge to get in there?
It's officially you would have to get permission, and it's right in front of an active prison. They haven't done ghost tours in there for quite a while. They kind of stopped doing that. I actually almost got arrested for trespassing. After the only reason I didn't was because a guard waved me in when he wasn't supposed to, and that's the only reason why I didn't get arrested for trespassing. But I went there to go investigate, or at least try to get a feel for it. But it's completely locked down, like it's
Hey,
crazy.
they wouldn't have found me. I would have shut off the light and blent right into the darkness.
Oh, the,
No problem.
It's all them zingers.
right.
I would have been. I would have been perfect. All right, guys. Hey. All right. After Walker, tell the world how to get a hold of you, brother.
Well, of course, you can find us on Facebook at After Walker Paranormal, Instagram at After Walker Paranormal. We're on, I call it Twitter X just because, although it is not what it used to be, but you can find us there at Paranormal Green. Of course, we're on YouTube as well. So,
Okay, good. Now you know those little boogers at Twitter. They're trying to charge me to go live on Twitter now. They're trying to charge me $2 and something cents a month.
it's not the same.
You can give my
The traffic on Twitter or X or whatever you call it is just, it's not the same. It's nowhere near the
Yeah,
same.
nowhere near the same. Anthony, how to get a hold of you, brother?
Oh, hold on. Hey, hold on. This damn thing. Okay.
Yep.
Can y'all
Yeah, we
We
hear
can
you.
hear you. Yeah.
Oh, can you see me at all?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because it's showing dark on my screen. That's why I'm like, oh, they can't see me. Um, ZPI or ZP Investigations .com. That's my website. You can Zodiac Paranormal. Make sure it's Zodiac Paranormal Investigations because there is a Zodiac Paranormal uh, there's another Facebook group out there that has a similar name to me, but Zodiac Paranormal Investigations is where I'm located on Facebook. I'm on YouTube as well, and ZP Investigations is my website.
Cool.
All right. Well, hey, once again, hey, I personally like to thank everyone that made this all possible, man. The conversation's been great. We've met some new friends, and we had some unbelievable para unity going on. And plus, I know for a fact that B is going to cook us all dinner.
That's
So
good.
that's a good thing, man. We can ever get together and have a joint investigation at a certain location where it won't cost a lot of money because I'm a big stickler on not paying for haunted locations. You know, Texas is too big. Texas is too big to do that. Look who's back. You know what I'm saying? So, but
Well,
with that said, hi B.
Bing.
I think she's in the motion, man. I think she's in the matrix. Get out of there.
She's in
Hey,
the
Are you back?
No, but
We
listen,
missed
if
you.
y'all if y'all want to come to Louisiana between me, Dean, and Sue, we'll cook up a big old gumbo with
Oh
some Texas
yeah,
salad, French bread on the side, and cheesecake for dessert.
there you
Why
go.
y'all keep saying cheesecake? What's up with the cheesecake?
This
Nothing wrong
cheesecake
with no
is so
cheesecake.
good.
Well, then we can
What
have
is
the
it?
regular cake.
I gotta bring
Something?
some biscochitos or flan.
Ooh, that sounds
Huh?
even better.
Well, how about some just old fashioned red beans and rice?
That's too
Oh
simple.
no,
Yeah.
No.
No,
Oh
something's
boy.
enchiladas,
way better.
enchiladas.
Yeah,
As
Anthony
long as you
got.
have all
Boy,
the cheesecake.
how about some enchiladas? I like mine. I don't like chicken. I don't like pork enchiladas, but I love beef. I love beef
I
enchiladas.
can make it. I can make it either way.
And some
Red or
silver
green
beef.
Wow.
chili with hatch green chili, not that canned shit.
Oh wait, not the can shit.
Be a
I don't like the
potluck.
can shit either.
I'll
Wait
make
a
you some
minute.
turkey
How do
fries.
Christmas
look?
sauce.
We got two Bernadettes.
Oh, what happened to her? She disappeared again.
Bernadine.
yay.
No, I don't know what
Bernadine.
she's doing.
Bernadine.
Not Bernadette.
I think everybody up here
Hey,
learned my name tonight, except Ken.
hey, guys. There will be a show after the podcast. Post Southwest Paranormal podcast show. If you want to continue having the discussion, feel free to do so. If you guys got other things to do, I thank you for coming on the show again. But mind you guys, the post show would not be streamed live. It just be a general conversation about whatever. So, uh, but in the meantime, hey, appreciate you guys. I really do. I hope to see you guys in the comments with the next big podcast that I have, October 4th, the Universal podcast, where I'm going to have some of the biggest names that I can find on this Universal podcast. You know, with enough said, I'm going to have a medium, a witch, a paranormal investigator, uh, and I forgot who else. But
Somebody likes to practice safety.
everybody, hey, in this and skeptic. So, can you imagine having all these people together on a show on what this gonna be like? With the people with so many different personalities and so many attributes that they bring to or feel, I think it would be. No, I'm not bringing a voodoo priestess. That would be interesting though, because voodoo priestess or
Bring the Holy One.
wow, that would be very interesting. Well,
Yeah.
pickle and peanut. Hey, that's a good idea, but I would have to think about that. Well, what a name, pickle and peanut.
Mhm.
A pickle and
Do y'all know them by chance? Do anybody know pickle and peanut?
Pickle and peanut
No.
butter.
You gotta say
Peanut
the
butter.
butter.
Oh, well, I didn't want to put the butter in there. I just peanut. But hey, guys, thanks for the show. Feel
Thanks
free
for
to share
inviting
this.
us.
Yes, ma'am. Anytime. You know, you got my heart. Oh, anytime that you guys feel free to share this podcast with any and everyone. Hopefully, it'll hit 1 million shares, and we can have some. We should do this again. You know what I'm saying? We should do this again, but I think
It'd be
the next
awesome.
time I'm gonna head south with this, guys. So I think the next uh, podcast I'm gonna have like this. I'm gonna head south, so I'm gonna dip into uh, look Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and I don't know the other teams. I mean, what other state
Tennessee,
is over there?
Mississippi, Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm gonna dip into those states and see exactly what those guys are talking about. If not, I might north. So you're looking at the Kansas, Nebraska, and areas over there, or I might head out west. It really depends on how I feel after I get back from my vacation. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, hey, you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you guys hopefully on the post NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast show in about 2 minutes. Bye, B.
Bye, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hey, nice to meet
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
Awesome.
Nice to meet everybody.
Same here.
Yeah, nice to meet everybody.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, guys.
Breathing fire, me and my groupie dragons. Heels all up in the buildings in Manhattan. Flow sharp, cutting air when the beat happens. Running in the night, child's playing tricks. Pockets get fatter like my rhymes on the mix. Fury in the mic, rage burning all the bricks. Cash flow quick, all expenses like slicks. Introview coke sound pumping through the system. Fog so loud, might break your vision. Trap beats blast, levitating from the friction. Master hits, every spinning precision. Heartbeats sink to the baseline thunder. Lyrics like lightning make them wonder. Punk attitude, never going under. Life on edge, no time to ponder. Font size fast, but the truth is clear. Adrenaline rush ain't place for fear. Street anthem files, genuine we steer. Raps, ears and hearts pumping in your ear. Introview comp sound pumping through the system. Fog so loud might break your vision. Trap beats blast, levitating from the friction. Master hits, every spin in precision.